Hello, sir. I'm gonna just randomly go off on some of the stuff that I've been thinking about because today is November 4th, 2025. The Prop 50 ballot measure is going on right now. There's also the Virginia governor's race, the New Jersey governor's race, the New York mayor's race, and a bunch of other stuff going on. I've been keeping on it as of this moment. They are projecting that Spanberger is going to win the Virginia governor's race. So that is one in the blue collar as of now. Although she's kind of a moderate, so you could call her a purplish blue. Um, but I just wanted to put out my 2 cents as a little teaser if we ever wanted to talk. Hopefully through email. Like I told Patty, I just my I just don't trust phones. I think cell phones are just not really reliable as phones anymore. I get dropped calls. I get static and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I live now in the valley of you know, Central California, but I was still getting drop calls in the Bay Area, which is supposed to be, the end all be all of technology and everything like that. Excuse me. And so I just wanted to at least show what we could do if we do email. I think would probably be the best way, unless you can text is fantastic. I don't really use social media other than the messaging platform, so I don't have a Facebook account anymore, but I use Facebook Messenger. I have an Instagram account. I don't use Instagram, but I have an Instagram Messenger thing. You know, that kind of stuff. But email's great. I've been using email all my most of my near to and then adult life. But as far as Prop 50 goes, I think this is one of the and I live in Oakdale, California. So I live in an area that I believe is still pretty red. We have one of the guys that was responsible for the Charleston white supremacist rally crap from what during Trump's first term. The Jews will not replace us. He was one of the people that sponsored it or organized it. It still lives here in Oakdale. There's a lot of white supremacists apparently that live in Oakdale. So that's pretty big. Yikes. Again, I look the way I do, but I identify with my Japanese heritage. So it freaks me out even more. But I kind of get away with it. So there's a lot of guilt involved in that kind of aspect. But yeah, so Oakdale is not exactly the most responsive to Prop 50, I would think. You know, Riverbank, which is nearby, maybe a little more so. Modesto, I would assume, is going to be okay. But I live in an area that is not really geared towards Prop 50. Just if you go off of what I think, you think people's values are going to push them towards either for Prop 50 or not, or not Prop 50. I'm in that area, and so I've heard the arguments, and then I've heard the arguments, through the mainstream media and through the national concept, and it's obviously the same. Is if you're a Republican, for the most part, I'm sure there's a handful that are very Kinzinger, Liz Cheney, maybe if you want to call him Mitch McConnell kind of Republicans, the old school Republicans that are sitting there going, well, because Texas did so. Keep that in mind. The rest of them are going, well, if Prop 50 is an attack on the integrity of our elections. Okay, what did I just say? What did Texas just do? Or did? What are other red states trying to do right now? The key difference, and you can love that guy or hate that guy or whatever, but what did Newsom do to respond? Because first off, Republicans, Democrats, prior to this, especially in 2024, had a bad habit of going, well, we got to take the high ground. And, Michelle Obama even said, when they go low, we go high. It doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work that way. I wish it did. But it don't. We are not there anymore. And so I always tell people, if you go into a fight, a fisticuffs, and then someone pulls out a gun, do you pull out a knife? No, you pull out a gun yourself. Like, why would you go less than what they're going at that point? You're going to lose. And then you're going to lose again and again. No matter how much you want to go with the moral compass, which I hate it. Our country has right now no moral compass. Like, that's really one of the only things that bothers me in this whole spectrum, is we have no moral fucking compass anymore. I talk to all my family in Japan. I've talked to people that I know from other countries. We are a laughing stock because we have no moral compass anymore. But we are a country that, especially with the Trump administration, with the MAGA administration, that is so nationalized that we just don't give a shit. We really don't care. If other people think that we're whatever you want to think, fuck them. Like, who cares? Okay, well, that sucks. We're supposed to be the ultimate powerhouse of the world, the beacon of freedom. So we're screwing up there. But okay, if you're gonna shun everyone else, then do something for people here in the United States. And we are doing that here. People have lost SNAP benefits. You have people being ripped off the streets that are literally have been working harder than a lot of people that have been living here their entire lives, that are making sure that our agricultural industry and our construction industry and all these other industries function, are getting ripped off the streets because they don't look like this. So we're not really America first there, because now we're screwing Americans out of the people we need to do constructions to make housing, which is an issue, and make sure that we have the agricultural situation under control, which is now tanking because of various things. You have not the bird flu, but we had a bird situation with all the poultry. Meat prices are going up, and so what? We're going to go to Argentina and try to bail out the meat industry by going to Argentina, which has hoof and mouth disease issues. And then again, you're taking people from the construction industry. For whatever reason, it actually really shouldn't be a surprise. You have the oligarchy group of people that are running this government thinking, oh, someone will step in and take the jobs that a lot of Americans don't want to fucking do. They don't want to go out and pick crops. They don't want to go and build build houses or build buildings or build whatever. Americans just don't want to do that nowadays. This generation has their own mindset on what they want to do. And so you need to rely on immigrants to be able to do this kind of stuff because they're willing to do this kind of stuff because they have a connection to this kind of stuff. And I'm going to go way off on a tangent. I'm never going to come back. Watch. But the United States national soccer team, because we have the World Cup coming up here next year, there's a big reason why they've been struggling for so long. It's because they're exactly the same mentality. The United States national team years and years and years ago were made up of a lot of people that were immigrants. They were sons of immigrants. They understood the plight and the struggle and the grind. And they understood, they have a chip on their shoulder that they need to prove to themselves, to this country, that they're worthy. A lot of these people nowadays on the national team, not all, but a lot of the people on this national team nowadays are multi-generation Americans that have never had to be pushed. Their families have never had to be pushed. And it's showing. And sports should never be really tied into what a country is going through. But in a lot of ways, this is what it is. If you watch the national team, the United States national soccer team, it's indicative of what the United States is like nowadays. It's the wealthiest people in charge now, shitting on the rest of the world, or the rest of the country, and just saying, well, figure it out. And that's wrong. Like that's and what bothers me more than anything is the vast majority of the people that voted for this president and voted for this agenda still don't realize that they're getting fucked over now, because they just a lot of Americans in this country are just either extremely ill-informed, misinformed, or disinformed. They either don't have the information at all, they're getting the wrong information, or they're interpreting the wrong information. And once they get stuck in the loop, I think more than anything, once they get stuck in the loop of misinformation, it just spreads. And then the other thing too is I think a lot of people that have now figured out that, whoa, we might have screwed up, are too, and I think this is a very American thing, and I have a whole spiel on what I think about men in particular. I think there's a lot of toxic masculinity and toxic alpha masculinity and all that stuff. It's you guys screwed up. There's nothing wrong with that. People screw up all the time. Accept it, learn, move on. But they won't do that. They their brains cannot do that. And so it tumbles. Okay, well, if Trump said this, then I'm trying to think what was the most recent thing. But it's always if Trump says this, well, he technically meant that. Or one of the examples I talked about earlier with my parents is he went with a handshake for President Xi Jinping from China. And he gave him a handshake, and Xi kind of looked off, kind of like okay. And Trump was like head down, trying to shake as firm as he can. It looks so desperate and just not strong. And then if you looked at Fox News, and again, all mainstream media is fucked up right now. I'm not going to sit here and say anything about any kind of mainstream media. They're all messed up right now. CNN. I watch CNN. I don't listen to it. I just have the ticker so that way I can see what's going on in an instant. They straight up said, well, Trump had such a firm handshake and he's in control of this thing. He wasn't in control of it. China was literally paying they were buying 27 million metric tons of soybeans from the United States during the Biden administration. And then all this crap happened with Trump, and they said, okay, we're done. And so they went to zero. So then the farmers freaked out, and it's because the farmers freaked out. Everyone freaked out, and everyone started blaming the Republican Party, and they were blaming Trump. So what did he do? He went and had a conversation with Xi Jinping. Oh my God, he got a deal for 12 million metric tons for this year and 25 million for the next 3 years. So that's 2 million. If my math is right, that's 2 million less for the next 3 years than what Biden was getting. And the rare earth situation is now every year they have to go back and negotiate with China to make sure that the export situation is going down the way it's supposed to go down. What a deal. What a deal. We could have just kept the 27 million year over year. But tariffs, huh? Tariffs. Sorry, I have one more thing I was going to point out. There we go. The race in New York, which I'm waiting on. And it looks like at least CNN. Like I said, I ain't going to say shit until everyone. I apologize to keep swearing, by the way. Bad habit. CNN projects that Zoran Mondani is going to be elected New York City mayor. He is a democratic socialist. All Trump and a lot of the MAGA people have been saying is he's a communist. They're not the same. First off, go research it. Just go research it. Democratic socialism is different than communism. It's a different concept. Just do your research. Just be informed. Be critical thinking. Be informed. There are many countries in this world right now that utilize a system that is very similar to either social democrat or democratic socialism. More or less the same thing. And most of them are Nordic countries. Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Finland, and Iceland. These are some of the most well-off countries on the planet right now. They allow welfare states, universal health care. Like, I can't believe people don't want universal health care. We don't want to protect human beings. Like, we complain all the time about, you can go and hit a cat or a dog or something on the street, but you can't hit a human being because a human being is the almighty, So why wouldn't you protect one with universal health care? Like, what? There are higher taxes when it comes to that kind of stuff. That is a thing, for sure. But we're already paying high enough taxes for what? For nothing. We still have to pay for our own health care. We had to pay for our own education. It's another thing. Universal education. Wouldn't you want to get your country, the people in your country, to be more educated, more aware? Not if you're a fucking dictator. Benito Mussolini was a prime example of this. You do not want your people to be aware of the fact that you are literally fucking them. So the dumber they are, the less likely they're going to realize they're getting fucked over. So that's why, what is McMahon doing? Linda McMahon doing? Fucking over the education department. So less and less and less people in this country that are already getting less and less education don't realize that they're getting less and less education and getting less and less fucked. So that's another thing. Strong labor rights. I mean, holy crap. You got people that are working their asses off and you're going to fuck them over? That's not right. If you work your ass off and you do good work, you should get paid for doing that good work. It's the argument I have with the women's sports situation. If you put out a good product, you deserve to get paid a lot of money. The women's basketball program sounds like it's really doing its business. They deserve way more money. If you are putting out your effort, you deserve that kind of money. Why are you going to get stuck? What's the point in working harder if you're not going to get paid more, you know? So, they can say all they want about Mandami, and whether Mandami gets done everything he wants to do, I don't know, and I don't think so. Because, again, we live in a country that is very stifling. It's still very capitalist and still very stifling on the regular working people. And we are seeing it more through this administration. If you have money, you have clout, and if you have clout, you can get away with anything. And if you don't have that clout, then you're going to get fucked over. But Mandami is I think a bellwether in some aspects, even though it is New York City, which, you know, is normally blue. But I think he's a bellwether to this idea that maybe we can finally get some stuff that actually helps people. I think if you talk to a lot of these MAGA supporters, but gave them universal health care, pretty certain they would be like, oh fuck, that's pretty awesome. I would like to talk to people from that MAGA party that gets that kind of stuff, that goes, no, I don't want that universal health care. Fuck that. I want to pay money for my health care. Like, it won't happen. But they just don't get it. They just don't see it. And that was the biggest problem with Democrats in 2024, is they took the defensive, and you can't in this environment. You got to go out there. You got to go all out. And Mandami is one of those kind of people. And again, I think he's going to be a bellwether. I think Newsom's got his own issues, for sure. The French Laundry or whatever situation? Yeah, he fucked up. He's a fucking asswad for that. But he's doing the right thing going forward. He's taking it to them. He's not being establishment Democrat. I don't even like established Democrat. I would never. I'm not even a Democrat. I'm not even registered as Democrat. I'm an MPP in California. I'm a no party preference. Newsom's doing what other members of the Democratic Party need to do going forward. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens. Anyways, I hope, I don't know, if that sparks anything. And again, I apologize. I would love to talk through the phone, but again, I don't trust the phone. The phone's all... But if we want to talk through email, that would be awesome, or text, or social media, or whatever. That'd be great. Yeah, but that's my opinion on all that stuff. I know that was a little bit all over the place. I apologize for that. But I hope you and the family do well. And yeah, I am Alex with Sean and Flow. As always, keep it flow, and I will see everyone else if I post this publicly soon. See y'all soon. And so far so good on the elections, I guess, at least the people that I want. Bye.